Can you have sex with this robot?
Are there any sex robots?
I mean, we're starting. That's what I want to know.
Self-directed.
Steven, put your headphones on.
So like self-directed sex robots could be like a fleshlight.
I hear the same thing.
But that's self-directed. Is there like a robot that will fuck you?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Does the Tesla one do that?
Does any robot do that?
I think they all should.
Can you design a vagina?
Sure. If you can design a fleshlight, you just hook that up to the robot, right?
Just put the fleshlight right in there.
I mean, let's be real.
Plug it in.
Like a lot of the people behind this stuff.
Well,
like,
technically, they design a vagina when they do a transition from man to woman. That's like
sure.
a fully designed vagina.
Wait a second. Isn't this already kind of a thing in Japan? I feel like it would be.
If it exists
I'm almost
anywhere.
possible. I'm almost positive. Like
the Japanese are on the forefront of robotics and sex.
Yeah, and I'm not talking VR, but I'm pretty sure like sex robot of some kind exists or is coming.
Is there like a place where you go to like some like a whorehouse, but like it's just like a fake vagina?
Steven has his laptop open. Steven, can you Google that for us? just search. The search term is Japan sex robots.
I do not want to search that.
Please go incognito.
I thought your take was gonna be like, well, Steven has immense knowledge.
Of course he does. Why do you think he picked this topic?
Right.
So Steven, welcome to the show.
Are we live?
Yes. Come to the microphone now.
I didn't know that. I was about to tell the Discord you were asking me to Google sex robots.
You can't be Discording and podcasting.
I don't know.
It's too hard.
It's like kind of part of our charm, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's got an ETH chart right behind that screen.
Who are you talking to? You got Hook'em?
Everybody. It's obviously Rectum, Hook'em, and Paradox.
Paradox. The goats.
The
goats just showing up. Shout out to the goats.
Calcium dropped a little pun as well.
Very nice.
There we go.
So seriously, does the Tesla robot have sex capability in its sort of roadmap?
No.
I
didn't look that up. I just know that it's not in there.
Was it there to what's it doing?
He had previously looked it up.
Okay. God, I have a really good Rick and Morty joke, but it just occurred to me that none of you guys watch Rick and Morty.
I've watched a few episodes. I wouldn't get the context.
So you kind of get like Rick. There's an episode of Rick and Morty where they're sitting at the dinner table and they're like just having a conversation, and there's like this little robot that Rick made, and it's like buttering the toast and like sending it to him. And the robot at one point asked Rick, like, "What is my purpose?" And Rick goes, "You passed butter." And the robot goes, "Oh my God." But that's basically the Tesla robots. They're designed, I think, as of now to just like pick up a box and just
walk across the stage. You walk across the stage.
So I think most people that listen to this podcast know I was fucking around to start the show. So let's get into it.
Were
for
you?
real.
Because I've got some Google search
I'm not
results here.
serious. Okay, let's go.
No, I'm bluffing. I didn't Google anything.
Okay.
So there's somebody in our Discord, I think, because the name caught my eye. Do you guys ever watch South Park? The Osmo 2000?
Yeah.
The Osmo 2000 in South Park is a robot that's sentient in quotes. It's Cartman in a fucking cardboard box.
Awesome.
No.
but the guy goes, "Osmo, are you programmed for sex?" And he goes, "No."
Oh God.
So I mean, anybody who's ever thought about robotics, the first thing they're going to is like,
absolutely,
can you fuck this thing?
Yeah. No, that's the first thing.
I can't believe how off topic this discussion went immediately.
Any robot topic is going to be fuck this thing.
I'm gonna send this episode to Elon as like hey man, like big fans.
Steven, if you don't lead in with your lead in, and
I had this
Discord,
like elaborate like title and pitch, and I wasn't paying attention, and then just, you guys were talking about
got away from you,
threw it out the window. Let's go into it.
Yeah, what's your lead in?
Okay.
See, you cry all the time on this show.
Oh my God, what a
For those that are not watching on YouTube, Steven is crying right now.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys know, Tesla unveiled the Optimus robot. Was that what it was called?
Optimus. Yeah.
Optimus. In this sort of, Apple-esque event, right? Where Elon's on the stage, similar to when he revealed like that weird car that looked like it was like a polygon from the video game, and then he threw the ball and broke the impenetrable window. You know, it's pretty good. So this was kind of right up there with that. Anyway, he brought out this robot. It was like, this is the first time it's ever walking without being hooked up to something, which, by the way, is complete horseshit. There's no way that's true.
Right. They wouldn't wait. They wouldn't wait for the
Deploy
World
that
Series
on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If you believe that, I've got a lot of Tesla shares to sell you. And yeah, so it did things, and it, you know, showed a little overview of the robot. It was watering stuff. It had a little like autopilot thing running. It's picking up a watering can with its hand, moving some boxes around. It waved hello a little bit in a very, you know, stiff manner. Anyway, I saw this and I had a lot of mixed reactions. Like Armand sent it in the group chat, like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." And then I initially watched it and was like, "What?" And then I in a very, you know, passive aggressive manner sent him the video of the Boston Dynamics robots doing the like coordinated like "Do you love me" dance, which is like really sick actually. They're doing like backflips and stuff, and then this robot's just like looks like he's gonna keel over and die. So I was originally like, "Oh my God, it's another Elon scam." It's like it's gonna be
There's a big.
I'm like, "Oh my God, this is Solar City."
Yeah, you were triggered. Okay.
I wasn't super triggered, but I was like, "This is classic." And then
There's a big but here.
I thought about it a little bit, and I won't like super monologue it. I've had some changes of heart, but I was initially like, "What?"
They're completely different robots.
Go ahead, spiel me.
Take it on.
Spiel me.
Take
Spiel
the,
me,
take
daddy.
the football. We're
They're
gonna
just
hand it off.
completely
Take the
different
football.
robots. The what is that one again called?
Boston Dynamics.
The Boston Dynamics one is designed to do that. It's designed to be like a fucking human panther. But I'm pretty sure the battery life on it is like an hour, you know? Like it's just not designed to do work. And the Tesla one is designed to do work. There's a totally different purpose that they're built for. I also think that they've had a huge head start on hardware, right? So Tesla's very new to this game. Tesla Bot is like brand new. They only have a few years that they've been working on this. However long it's been, I don't know. But I know that this one has been around since like for a long time, like a couple decades probably. And the amount of time that they've put into the hardware, which is what they optimized for, is they've got a 20-year, 15-year head start on them. Tesla realizes that. They're a software company. They went heavy software. And what they've done is they're an AI company. They've mapped the real world, right? And so what this bot will do extremely well is function in society. And so what I think is really interesting about this is not the consumer side, because the big thing they were pitching was like, it's not going to be that expensive. It's going to be less than the price of a car, probably like $20K, which is pretty damn cheap for a freaking robot. $20,000.
I'll be honest. I'll get a fucking robot in my backyard before I get a new car, because the idea of having a
helper,
a freaking helper around the house, water
lift
my
those
plants,
bricks.
even if it doesn't even do shit, it's just like I got a fucking robot.
Come over, it brings you a drink though. We come over, we do an episode.
Yeah,
bartends for us.
And like, the thought of a car just being an upgraded version of something that gets me from A to B already. Like I already got a car.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get a car with like newer leather. Like no, I got a robot.
Oh, dude, and this thing will walk around the house for 8 hours doing work. That's what it's designed to do.
Constantly worried that robot was going to murder me.
Yeah, that's a different topic. No, we're gonna get to that.
I got that going on.
We're gonna get to that. Totally different robots, apples and oranges, completely different purpose. What will be really interesting is if Tesla can. So first of all, I was going to finish the point about the consumer thing. I don't think that's nearly as interesting as work automation, factories, relieving people of heavy labor, and making things more perfect, more efficient, more accurate with the use of robots. We always have known that's coming. That's what's coming. That's what we witnessed. It's the first time we've really witnessed that coming from Tesla. That's exciting. It also has its it's got its cons to it. It's got its concerns. People are obviously concerned about work, employment, labor, all of that stuff. But what we see is that we're not going to need the truck drivers. We're not going to need the people in the factories in the future. And that is a problem that we can solve through more innovation and moving people into more creative work. I think the bots are here to stay. This is not going to go away. It's only good. This technology is only going to keep advancing. What's going to be really interesting is if these two companies or these two technologies can somehow merge. Like, how sick would it be to have an 8-hour, 10-hour battery with the level of intelligence that the Tesla bot has, combined with like the ninja-like movement of the Boston Dynamics one. So maybe there's a partnership there in the future. I have no idea. One will end up swallowing the other somehow.
Yeah, I think like I'm gonna try to like steel man it a little more. Like, so Tesla, this is their first iteration of a bot. This bot was largely unimpressive, like you described, compared to other bots, and also compared to like our interpretation of what a bot is capable of in the long term. This thing was unimpressive. But I think the way that I'll steel man is like Tesla has already proven that they can manufacture consumer products better than most. But I almost want to say better than anyone, but like better than most. Boston Dynamics,
I would say better than anyone.
yeah, maybe better than anyone. And then Boston Dynamics might have a better bot, but they don't have the manufacturing capabilities that Tesla has. They can't scale. They can't, and they don't understand the consumer in the way that like their bot is not helping anyone right now. Neither is Tesla's, but I trust Tesla, the business, to like solve that problem faster than Boston Dynamic or anybody else, basically.
I couldn't agree more. What do you guys think is the bigger use case, though, to consumers or to businesses?
Well, at first use cases are going to be businesses, I think. Like businesses where it's like a very rote, repeatable task over and over again. That seems kind of obvious to me that you might replace some factory labor.
So let me just like jump on that point because I agree wholeheartedly. I actually think this like humanoid version of a robot is not even their like immediate goal. Like Elon has said himself, he's like, our biggest feat was our manufacturing plant. Like, I think there are robots inside the Gigafactory that are designed specifically to like put a door of a car in this place where we can, like hinge a door to a chassis. And that is a robot already. And that's phenomenal. Like that use of a robot in like this business use case already exists. It is proficient and it's amazing. I think he unveiled this like humanoid type version of it, and we're just gonna like
it's to create the buzz. It's to create the marketing.
Writing it off.
Yeah. And they already showed. I mean, in that talk alone, they were like, "Well, what you're seeing is like this V2 thing. V3 is already more human looking. It looks like this, so on and so forth. It's going to move more. The fact that it has like opposable thumbs, it can work with objects, it can understand the environment that it's in, and it can perform these tasks is really, really impressive, even though it didn't look and feel impressive. But I agree. I mean, think about it. You're running some sort of manufacturing plant. You're paying somebody $70,000 a year, plus benefits and all these other aspects and workers' comp, and they might sue you if something falls on their foot. A bot like just doesn't have those issues, and you pay one time. Might pay some maintenance costs, like a car, ongoing.
Well, if something falls on a bot's foot, you got to replace the
maintenance
bot.
costs.
I mean, that's still expensive.
Sure, but you're already paying 1/3 of the cost, if not less. If you're buying them in bulk, they'll probably be even cheaper. Like, I mean, if you're a business, I think
certainly the way forward. We're just not there today, but yeah, I agree with you.
I don't want to be this like robot, kind of techno king about it, though.
Well, I think the problem with it is the same thing that like David Hoffman faces with Bankless Podcast. He's talking about Ethereum, the vision, versus like the naysayers are talking about Ethereum today, and they're like, well, we can only settle this many transactions or whatever, and David's like, well, we have sharding, we have like all these roadmaps to go forward, and it's like, well, are you talking about this exact moment, this snapshot of this humanoid bot that fucking sucks, or are we talking about like the future? And, if you look forward at all, like, well, this is pretty clearly.
Here's what I can't wrap my head around, though. Like, I just realized when you said Osimo, I totally didn't make this connection before, but like Honda designed a robot in the 90s, right? Called Asimo.
Okay.
And I didn't.
Like, was it a direct making fun of that on the show?
I just realized that that's where the show thing came from.
Okay.
But the Asimo robot, I mean, it was very late 90s. Maybe it was even early 2000s. But it could like unscrew like a cap, and I think I saw videos of it like kicking a soccer ball with Obama. So I guess it wasn't that.
Obama in the 90s?
I guess that was a later iteration of it, because the early one was kind of like not that impressive, but then the later one was like kicking soccer balls. So it's kind of interesting that there already was a car company that built a robot like 2 decades ago. I like wonder to what degree, like if this was a brand new startup that you had never heard of, and they came to market and they had like a reveal for their product and it was this bot,
I would give it no.
you would be like,
Hope.
this is stupid.
Yeah, because if I didn't
Dumbest
know
thing
that
ever.
they could actually manufacture it at scale, and I didn't know the team behind it, and I mean,
So
the
is that,
software
but is
capabilities.
that what we're doing? We're just sort of almost grading it on a curve because we're like, well, it's Elon and it's Tesla,
Yes.
and they'll
every
go
single
here.
product that Tesla has created
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Well,
I mean, highest rated cars of all time.
not every single one, but
Name
they've-
one.
They've done a good job on the car for sure.
They've done a phenomenal job. Blow up. Okay, I want to go back to something you said. You said you've gone very back and forth on this. Talk us through that. So first you were like,
So when I
What is
watched
this
the
shit?
video initially, I was like, this robot is very stupid. It is worse than a robot I saw from Boston Dynamics in like 2011. I'm pretty sure. So I was like wondering, it felt like a very sort of like Emperor has no clothes thing to me, where they're like, here's our awesome robot that is just walking on its own. And people are like, yes, it's so
it was pretty
amazing.
quiet in there.
And it was just very awkwardly waving, like, and I feel like my mind got warped too, because I saw a tweet from Darius Dale earlier in the day, like, holy shit, that dancing Tesla robot. So I was watching the video being like, oh my God, this is like an elaborate troll where the bot is programmed to not walk at all. And then towards the end of this video, it's just going to start like breakdancing, and it's going to be like the sickest thing I've ever seen. But then because those were my expectations, they were completely subverted, and it would just continue to be this like meek little thing, like barely like picking up a watering can. And I was like,
Well, didn't a couple of years ago, like Elon tried to like unveil a robot that was actually a human being inside of like a robot
That was
suit?
V1
it was like
of
a
this.
year ago, basically.
Yeah, it was a year
They
ago.
were showing this.
Yeah. They were,
But it was a
They were
joke.
like alluding to it. and it
No,
was
I
actually a
remember.
guy.
I remember like Rick posted it in one of our
Yeah.
crypto chats, and he's like, "What the?"
Yeah, I think it got misinterpreted.
It was literally just a human like in a robot suit, like breakdancing and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And
And
so, I mean, at the end of the day, this robot is useless.
for now,
It's useless today.
Yeah.
Well, what I've learned is what you said, that like the mechanics of the robot are actually sort of there's a couple things, right? Like from what I understand, it's that the sort of brain of the robot, the ability to sort of navigate through space and do stuff, is actually like the real secret sauce.
Yes.
They actually
That's
have,
where their preeminence lies.
yeah, and they've actually designed like the actuators, right? Like I've watched a video where it's like picking up like a 500 kilogram piano. Like that part is like well engineered, and I guess the idea is that the rest of it is actually not as complicated to engineer. But then I also, I was reading some takes on it, and people were saying, well, like you alluded to, like this robot is designed to dance for like 20 minutes. This one is designed to like have a longer battery life. It's designed to be cheaper, right? It's sort of it's built in a very like minimalistic sense from the ground up. Like it's built to actually be like mass produced and used in the wild as like a sort of first principle thing, as opposed to like spare no cost, make sure this thing does backflips and can like,
So
play
if
cricket.
you ask me, I look at it the other way. The Boston Dynamics one is the useless one. It's for
True.
show.
True.
This one is for work. This one
True.
is for purpose, for utility.
You have to be
Maybe.
able to-
Just because
Maybe
that's
in
the
the
goal.
future at
and
some
we're-
point.
Yeah.
They're already showing
Yeah.
the utility it has today,
For now, it
which
can
is
barely
very
walk.
minimal.
Okay.
It's minimal.
You're both right.
But that utility is going to increase.
They're both-
Eric's preventing a.
No, hold on. Like it's so true because like today they're both useless,
Yes.
but the roadmap for Teslas has potential use where Boston Dynamics, like they don't even have manufacturing in house. Like they can't even
The Tesla
scale
one
this thing.
is specifically aiming for utility.
Right.
That's the purpose
But
of it.
counterpoint, if it was the apocalypse and we suddenly needed the robots to go kill people, I am definitely recruiting the Boston Dynamics.
Oh,
robots.
agreed. But you
Not
only
that
got
feeble
20
Tesla
minutes.
thing.
You only got 20 minutes.
That's fine. I'll just Print a lot of money and buy a lot of them. I don't know.
I don't
Just
know.
deploy
Maybe
them.
make it run on solar, or I mean, geothermal. I don't know. Get something.
Okay, so you think stage one for this thing is we put some of these in factories and replace some sort of manual labor. Where do you
Sure.
see
I
it
mean,
going from there?
I do wish that they'd had a better example of what it can do than like the watering can, because like what you show people is what they will envision and imagine. And so I was like, well,
Like
it
even
is
have a-
kind of a drag.
Even have a rendering, like do a rendering instead of like an actual.
Yeah, that's what they
like-
did with the spaceships. They were like, here's a spaceship that the laws of physics dictate that we can't even build, but we're going to show it to you anyways. This is a rendering
Right.
of how we can go to Mars.
Yeah, there's like a space tourism company. I forget what they're called, private, smaller company, but they were showing the future of space tourism, and it was the fucking coolest video ever. And they showed you the real world, like prototypes and the version of this stuff as well. But then when it came to your imagination, they gave you something to work off
Yeah.
of. They didn't do that. They kind of failed at that with this one. They showed you that it can water your plants,
Which
and
is
that's
weird
lame.
because like the
carry
Elon
a package to your
naysayers
desk.
would lean on his ability to like
Overdo that.
twinkle your imagination,
And
you
he
know?
didn't.
And
They
he didn't
didn't.
do any of that.
So
Which I
maybe it might be
respected.
a little change in the tune there. They didn't overhype it up, you know?
I would have
So-
preferred a little twinkling.
Well, see, it's
But
funny. It's
I'm an optimist.
I know, but it's funny because it's like we give him shit for a little too much and over promising, under delivering, and then now maybe they are kind of like under promising.
They're
You know?
slow playing it. a
Yeah,
little more.
I think they are. But it's interesting, and I think that the bigger conversation is: are these things going to kill us?
No, that's not the bigger conversation.
That's the bigger conversation.
I think the bigger conversation.
that's the bigger
tinfoil. That's the
conversation.
tinfoil
Yeah. What, like, the
conversation.
bigger conversation-
iRobot. This thing is going to kill us. There's going to be an army of these things with unlimited battery life. They control the batteries. They control the power. They're going to direct things.
Ultron. The bigger conversation is what happens to labor.
Yeah.
What happens to labor when like automation exists and displaces people's jobs?
Yeah, first it's just they can just be glorified iRobots, right? I think we are only like they're gonna kill us because they sort of are humanoid and whatnot. I mean, I know you don't actually think they're gonna kill us, but maybe you do at some point. I don't know.
I mean, long term, who the hell knows? They become sentient. They're all like a lambda times 10.
Well, the documentary The Matrix told us that they will.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like they could like cook,
Yeah.
right? That'd be cool.
I mean, look.
Is that overkill? Like
No,
having a robot
no.
cook?
That's
No,
part
be-
of it.
Because
That's part of the
that
current
already
vision.
exists. I've seen like Japanese restaurants where they're like there's like a
Yeah,
robotic
it's just a full
arm.
machine and
Yeah,
everything.
it's a robotic arm that like flips the omelet over or something. So like that already exists.
I've often talked about like
You have to have the
my.
whole kitchen engineered for that.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
It's like a.
just download a new
I want one
software
that can like
for
walk
your-
into my closet and be like, I need paprika, and then like
Closet? You have paprika in your closet?
Of course I do.
What? You mean
Yeah.
your
Pantry.
pantry?
Yeah.
But it's a walk-in pan.
It's a pantry.
Oh, whatever.
Closet's where you put your clothes.
Don't be pedantic.
Guilt ender.
No, that was the other guy, the pedantic fellow. No, so look, I've often said like, how sick would it be to just have like, I want like a staff of help, right? This is that. Like, imagine you've got your gardener, your labor, like, fixes the light, changes the light bulbs, fixes the table. Maybe it gets to that degree. You got a cleaner. You got what else you need? A cook, a chef. Like, that's sick. That's actually sick. If we play it out long term,
Robot chef is awesome.
if we play it out long term, the cost savings that we're talking about is remarkable.
So-
Remarkable.
I don't want to get us off kilter here, but I just want to propose a different alternative, and it's going to be a different episode entirely. But like, if we live in our physical reality more, then this is the way. You have robots taking care of everything. But I actually think there's a different way forward, which is like you live more in a metaverse, in a digital realm, where like a DALL-E 2 or like those like AI creations end up becoming more of the robot that you lean on for your reality, where your reality becomes something more akin to like Star Trek's holodeck, where it's like make me an omelet, and it's digital, and then you like experience the omelet. You get your sustenance like intravenously, but you don't even process that. Like you're
How?
living. Oh,
You're right. That was a totally different guy.
yeah,
No, I like where it's going.
yeah. So I just want to
You're saying
submit
the
this
world
as,
will collapse inwardly. Technology will advance
Well, we've talked about
more
this
in an
before.
inward
So
direction.
when I want to drink wine,
you
just
can.
go-
I drink a metaverse simulation of a glass of Opus One. I stimulate
you'll
my
taste
taste
it?
buds to think it's Opus One, but and then the thing just injects alcohol into my veins and I get
Well,
drunk.
yeah. How is it any different than how we experience it now? For instance, like we
love
don't
this.
even know. We don't even know if it's any different.
And some smell thing just shoots like French oak into my
Oh,
nose while I do it.
absolutely.
Is the wine even there?
We don't even know now.
Exactly.
But I think like let me bring it back. Like if
the
we were
wine is
to
there.
if we were to experience life in this reality that we know, then of course it would be beneficial to have robotic assistance.
I think both happen simultaneously. I think advancements will occur externally in the real world, air quotes, and internally in the simulation world of the metaverse, the internet, whatever we want to call that inward reality where AI is already building, right? So both of those things happen simultaneously. I almost like when I envision this, I imagine like an infinity loop.
I wonder if it's like
You know?
the socioeconomic divide is more delineated in this future where it's like those who don't have go into the digital, but those who have can like experience it here with robots.
I think that both will be accessible.
Yeah, what
Right?
if robots become so cheap and
Cheap.
ubiquitous that like poor people have like robot maids, like and robot
That's the
gardeners? They have like
beauty
the
of-
stuff that like
It's the beauty of technology and
okay,
the
so
deflationary aspects of
This
it.
is beautiful. Like imagine that is our future and that's our reality. Like what's Tesla's market cap? Like when we have
a gigajillion dollars.
like
obviously.
you can't even price this thing today. Like and this is just to
Tesla
support,
just acquires Earth.
to support all the moon boys right now. Like this is the dream. Like there is a guy that's designing something completely different than everybody else.
Is Tesla one of the stock picks of the decade?
I would consider.
certainly
I
has
would
been.
consider buying Tesla if it like completely melts down from here. I would consider it. I maintain
Yeah,
that.
you definitely have. You're
I
long-
haven't bought
you're
it
a
for the
moon
last
boy.
couple of years.
passed
because
on
it was
SpaceX.
Delusional. That's
Private.
probably fine.
Yeah, I
But-
think so too. I think I'm worst case I missed like a 3x.
Yeah,
And,
like
it would have been in like a 10-year span because that company has no roadmap of going.
it's a
public.
pure like philanthropic
Yeah.
thing to
Yeah.
me. Like we're gonna go to Mars and you'll get a 3x.
Right. Yeah. And by the time it goes public, we can always buy the stock at that time.
True. I think.
But
you're fine.
Tesla, yeah, man. I mean, you could see an easy 10x.
Well, like nobody, like everyone was pricing in like this energy play with like TSLA shares. Everyone was pricing in like this energy play, this battery play. Like no one was pricing in this consumer discretionary product that changes the way we live outside of the car.
That's right. And Elon has himself said many times, this is like 7 companies. And people don't take him seriously when he says that. Like, he's laughing.
Wait,
This is a new company. You even yourself said, imagine, guys, you woke up and a startup came and did this little
Okay, but here's
show.
here's
There's
my
a new bot company.
Here's my
that just
problem
launched.
with this. Like, at what point is Tesla just like a slightly better Cardano?
What?
There's this meme in crypto, right? Where like the worst thing you can
Cardano?
ever do is like
Well, hold
release
on.
anything. You just perpetually keep
Like
just throwing out like we're gonna develop this, we're gonna develop this, we're gonna do
Tesla-
this, but you never like actually
Tesla
release
has
like a
more
product.
utility as a business than Ethereum does today. Like
By far.
the car.
I would
company
argue
alone.
that Tesla doesn't even exist today if not by immense government subsidy.
Different thing.
You're
that
sounding
talking
like
about two
a
different things right now.
pre-mine guy.
That
like,
was not fair.
What about the pre-mine? What about the sale?
Nothing like the pre-mine.
Oh,
No,
it's
that
exactly
was
right.
not a fair point.
Nothing to do with the pre-mine.
Because
You just, I'm surprised I
looking
didn't
ba-
freak out. You just compared Tesla to Cardano.
No, I said
Cardano
it's
hasn't done
not like Cardano, but I'm like, what if it's slightly different? Because that's what we're doing with this robot.
It
We're
has
like,
immense utility
this
today.
robot, if it were ever released, could
It has
totally.
amazing
If
utility.
this
No, you're
robot was
looking
a
at that-
mainnet, it could totally change.
You're
the whole
looking
shape
at
of
the
world.
robot in a silo. You said the company Tesla. Tesla has many products, many cars, right? These cars are
all of which
on the
would
road.
not exist if not but
Stop
the
looking
immense government
backwards,
subsidies.
Bitcoiner.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
It is fair.
Just look at the utility today starting today.
I would argue that the utility of Teslas today are marginal, and the harm they cause to the planet is very significant. And they maybe give like slight environmental gains today, and they're probably okay because we can look forward to the distant future and say, ooh, when we get here and this product gets way better, and maybe we're not like destroying Africa for lithium, maybe this is a good product. But I do think that today it is a little bit like overhyped for what it actually does in the present moment. And I don't think we even have Tesla today, if not
But you don't
for
think,
like infinite government
So
subsidies.
stop looking backwards. You don't think a Tesla car is better than like a standard
Energy
$40,000
aside,
car? Like,
energy aside, there are better cars.
I don't think it's
clearly better
They're
cars.
better cars.
I think it's
Obviously.
I think it's indisputable that like just buying a new car, buying a used car is better for the environment than buying a new Tesla.
You're jumping around like a frog right now.
Yeah, you're
like in a
scrambling.
real.
Scrambling.
I'm trying to grab you, and I just.
I'm not jumping around like a frog.
Jumping around.
My
like a
point is
frog.
very simple. If people really care about the environment, then like if people were to just simply purchase more used cars instead of like increasing demand for these new cars or these new raw materials, which are
Keep making different points. Okay, that point agreed. Okay, but
it's literally the same point.
no,
No, because on one hand you're talking about the
No.
environment, on one hand,
Yeah,
on the other hand you're
it's
talking about
a shitty
this,
car.
like, subsidy from the government.
No,
And then, no. On the other hand, you're saying this company has done nothing. If it weren't
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
government,
They're
You're
both-
saying they're forward looking is
All
worthless.
of, by the way, all of the things you guys just said are true. So thank you for reiterating all my points.
Right, but all you're saying is all these points instead of like talking
Yeah.
about let's start now, go forward.
go forward.
Yeah.
Today, buying and using Teslas, in my opinion, from what I've seen about the world, is very maybe neutral for the environment.
but you
in aggregate.
can't just if you're going to make a statement about buying new cars, you can't just look only at Tesla. Your statement is correct if you're looking objectively at like what's best for the environment. Buy a used car. Let's not.
No.
keep
I'm
creating new
comparing
cars.
buying a Tesla to buying another new car, buying a fuel efficient new car that doesn't use like lithium batteries.
But as you said, this long-term problem is being solved.
Maybe, but
and
it's
we're working
speculative.
toward
I
it.
think in the present day, the benefits of
You
Tesla
literally
are
live
a
your
little
life in a speculative fashion,
overblown.
speculating on this future or
Yes,
that.
and I
on
am
Ethereum and shit.
speculating that this is a overhyped thing to a degree in the present.
Well, look, Teslas are better cars. What they've done is they've created a new landscape of possibility. Every other company is moving in that direction anyway. So sorry, like Tesla's not the only one anymore. Every other company is going EV now. So it's happening.
Which of my
Like,
points do you want to argue with?
well, I don't know.
Which of my
'cause
points you're arguing with?
Mr. Frogger just went too all over the place.
I mean,
I lost
everywhere.
track of all your
He's
points.
everywhere.
Pick one. Are you? Would you like to argue that Tesla exists today, if not for those like generous government subsidies?
This started about the bot thing.
You derailed me, and we're here now. So I've got the gloves off.
That's a full self derail.
East Premine has like totally.
Don't non sequitur me with the Eve Primi. That's just completely.
That's exactly how you sound.
No, that's how you sound.
No, dude,
I do
you're
not-
so
it's
focused in the
Primo.
past. Focus in the past. Like focus on today going forward.
So let's go forward into a future of bots in the household, cheaply made in the workplace. Do you guys worry about this workplace problem, this productivity? You know, this challenge of people needing work and the ability to generate an income if robots are going to take away a lot of the kind of.
So I lean on Naval for this one. Naval said about this exact topic. He's like, listen, technology has been disrupting labor since the advent of technology, which started with like the printing press, the wheel. Everything is technology at the time that it exists, which displaces labor at that moment. And then labor responds and labor finds its niche to exist alongside technology. And I don't know like the way in which labor responds to this new tech, but it will.
Very
And
well said.
that's like the way that
I look at
goes.
it as creativity response in a sense, right? Humans will offload that task and use their creativity and intellect to pioneer new things, to then first initially build with their hands and be the source of labor, to then eventually outsource all over again, which we've always done.
I agree with what you guys are saying in the long run. And I don't think, even though at the time, the people working in like deadly factory conditions, like 12 hours a day in the 1800s, were like maybe initially upset that like technology came in and took their job. Like today, nobody longs for their children to work in those jobs, right? But the problem is that like humans are sort of sticky in an economic sense, right? Like you can only learn so much in one generation as a human, and once you get to a particular age, you are sort of what you are, right? So there is a theoretical point where technology advances so rapidly that it maybe displaces like jobs and work at a rate that is far beyond like what that generation can like adapt to. So it's sort of a question of like, what do you do then?
Yeah, and I think at that point,
Pay people to survive.
the government will have to come in with like a UBI type of solution if privatized labor can't find their own.
That's exactly right.
Andrew Yang, 2024.
I don't know when that day is, but if we don't have the jobs, we will have to find a way to keep the economy humming, right? So,
Or just like keep people alive.
right, yeah. First.
But I agree with you. It's not like the future of humanity to be doing manual labor.
No, of course not. We're going to be
degree.
floating around in the clouds. I don't even know if we'll have physical bodies anymore, and we'll be doing creative things with our time and building and pioneering the galaxy.
Maybe that's not a fair statement though. Like maybe some stuff that we say is like quote unquote manual labor. Like maybe if it's like really craft woodworking or something where it's like bordering on art, like
But that's
maybe
art.
you consider that. Well, I think that's where it's like sort
I agree
of
with
okay,
Steven.
maybe.
I agree with Steven where it's like plumbing becomes art. Like we literally we look down on trades, and trades will become so much more in vogue in the near future. Like
I feel like the plumbers are already laughing. Aren't they already making like $250K?
right, I think this is the beginning. It's like I think
Electricians.
sure,
Yeah,
like
man.
carpenters, all this stuff. Like we're
Trade school is such an awesome path, right? In general, that I think a lot of people overlook. Go learn a specific trade, get a mentor, go the old school way. Like, work under somebody, study. You could make a lot of money with this very specific. That's actually that's a Navalism of wealth, right? That specialized skill.
Yeah, I think of it like Steven's always used this dentist example, but I think that dentist example extends to like pretty much any trade. Like if you become good at a skill, like then that is valuable.
Yeah, 100%. So in the future, there may be what I'm hearing, and what I also believe is in the short term, there will be some challenges, especially if technology advances at a rate that is difficult to keep pace with. And if innovation outside of that technology does not innovate in a way to create new jobs that are derivatives of the thing that we had to outsource to allow labor to show up in those new positions, we're going to have a problem. But I don't worry as much about that problem as other problems we have. I really don't. I think the media and society likes to worry about that problem a lot because there's an existential fear of the robot taking over my life. But this is, as you said, Stephen, this is the oldest problem. Like that was you, Eric. This is the problem that we've had always.
You can attribute it to me. That's fine.
Well, you got a couple too many points today.
Boop boop boop. I just took you down a couple of notches.
Judge. Yeah, man. All right. So, are we any other final thoughts here to close out the future of humanity?
I feel pretty good about that. I was just thinking about how much time I spend daily doing stuff that I like loading and unloading my dishwasher and taking the trash out and just generally picking up crap around the house, which is like actually very programmatic. It's like this spoon goes in this drawer, trash goes in this thing when it's full, over and over again.
Oh,
It's
I
probably
hate
like
that
it's
stuff.
probably at least like an hour a day in, day out, 365 hours a year.
Far too much.
How much is
Think
your
about how many things
time
are
worth?
not being done that would finally get done as well.
Yeah.
Repairs, issues in your home, like things that you actually could use a little helping hand with.
I agree. And I think going back to my previous example, like this doesn't get solved by a humanoid robot that walks around your house. You just automate your kitchen. And the kitchen is a robot in itself where you can like put a spoon here and then it cleans that.
Oh, I missed that point of yours.
Man, I kind of think you need the walking robot though.
I kind of want the robot too.
Well, we'll get
I
there
feel like we
eventually.
have to
but
redesign.
the iterative process is it first goes to an automated area and then it turns into.
I
this, like,
do.
human-
This is like a complete derail, but I do think we could design like a fully automatic kitchen that like cooks and throws out the garbage and like self cleans all the plates and stuff if you just leave them in a particular area. I feel like
yeah.
that's like actually
Okay.
super doable.
If a robot
Startup idea.
or a kitchen, AI kitchen or a robot, right? AI robot, AI kitchen, cooks you a meal. Will it taste like there's love in it?
Stop it.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm 100%
Do you
dead
taste
serious.
love in food?
You don't?
No.
You don't taste love in your food? I know
I
when
taste
there's
good
love in my
taste.
food, and I taste it.
You realize we're in a simulation, right?
I taste it. Love is literally all there is, as Eric and I know.
Thank
And I'm just trying to get you to understand that.
I
Steve.
do.
literally all you taste.
I do
Literally,
wonder if you could.
I wake up and I eat. I just love. It's just that's all I taste.
I mean, do you think it's possible to program like
Why do you
a
think Steven
robot?
doesn't see color?
No love.
Never mind. Never mind.
No, keep
I
going.
see the-
Keep going.
I was wondering if it's possible to, because like cooking for me is very artistic on the one hand,
That's what I'm getting at.
but I also think it's like very scientific actually if you break it down.
Totally.
Like baking especially,
Baking
but let's
is.
just call it like cooking in general. Like I wonder if you could actually program a robot to just cook everything like Thomas Keller cooks it.
Well, clearly.
Sure, you could.
The exact specifications.
Like in the future, do we just all have
This-
Thomas Keller
this is-
robots that just meal prep everything, and every meal we taste tastes like it came from the French Laundry?
Look.
like my little lunch is just French Laundry every day.
I do think that a robot will make superior, incredible meals, but it will always be missing.
It'll always be missing love.
I don't know if I would say always though. I almost said.
Wait, where does love? Where does the
I
taste
think it
of
will
love
be
come
missing. I think it will be missing the ability to inject it with love until it becomes fully aware of processing that emotion and being able to deliver that emotion back to human
this
beings.
is cool. I actually like this a lot.
from? Maybe I'm too much of a robot.
So
but
let's
I'm
just
not
say
getting this.
let's look at like AI like Lambda, right? And like let's play that out. Okay, fine, we were early, we got excited again. But let's play that out. Fully sentient. It's here. It's telling us it experiences love and it's actually delivering that meal with love because it lives with you. You're its friend, you're its whatever it calls it. You're its God. And you've built a relationship together. I then think at that point that bot could deliver you a meal with love. But I do believe my main point here, my main point here is that love is a real energy that exists and you can absolutely taste it in food. And I'd like to cook you a meal with love in it so you can experience
I
it.
mean, I would love to
I can tell you
conduct
there's
a double-blind experiment.
no.
where
You can't. This is not one of those things.
You can't cook me one meal with love and one meal without love.
Okay, sure, but sure, but I'm telling you, you get a meal somewhere, and then you get your girlfriend or wife or your
Grandmother.
your mom or your grandparents to make you that meal, and I'm telling you, there's something in there, and it's called love.
I think you're absolutely right about this. Absolutely right about it.
That love is in the food, or that a bot could eventually also potentially do the same.
Both, but I do think that love is an energy for sure. And how to transfer that through a bot, I have no idea. Could we potentially do it? Yes.
Yeah, I don't think the bot can learn love intellectually. It will need to develop the ability to actually feel and express it.
So when people say the secret ingredient is love, you're being serious.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If somebody says I made this with love, they're being serious. They mean they made it with intention. They
but
thought
you're
about
saying
you.
it literally taste.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That intention that intention is the transmission vehicle for the love.
What
That's
is
how-
anything other than energy? At the end of the day, it's all
Correct.
just a transference of energy. And love is one of those vehicles to transfer energy.
That's
period.
right. And OG Tesla taught us that. Nikola Tesla.
It
The
taught
universe
us-
is made up of that.
You know who taught me? Fucking LSD and but I felt it. I felt it too.
100%, man. 100%. I would say it's one of the most real things that it truly exists.
Okay, well, shout out to whoever.
Yeah, you felt it? A little tingle in your ball sack? I had to. I had to end on a high for you.
Thank you, though.
Oh, man. All right. This was fun, guys.
Thank you, dear leader.
Yes. Jesus. Dude, I really have to say that at the end there.
Yeah,
After all that love.
good stuff.
Well,
All right. I love you guys. That was real. That's a real expression.
that's love,
And there's
dude.
feelings in there. So,
you could tell that conclusion was not rehearsed at all. It's very authentic.
Love you guys.
all right. Peace.